Morning everybody, OJ here, Juice Loops Live. I'm back in Montrose Harbor trying to capture yet a different perspective of the couple that I've already done from over here. Today I'm sitting at the mouth, the entrance of the harbor. All of the boats pass in and out of this this doorway, basically, aquatic doorway. I'm overlooking the main section of concrete stairs, the main amphitheater section of Montrose Harbor. In fact, the bench that I sat on before when I did the perspective overlooking downtown is actually going to be in the frame of this drawing. Today I'm working on a nice purple paper. A wonderful piece of purple paper. Shout out Mama Jude, she loves purple, it's her favorite. This is going to be a pretty open as far as the landscape goes. A lot of lakefront horizon, a lot of sky, a lot of just open space. Pretty relaxing morning on the water over here. The water is fairly calm, not many waves, hardly any action at all. And really there's just been people jogging, riding bikes around. A handful of people playing golf behind me back here, which I think is great. Handful of fishermen out here doing their thing. Handful of fisher people. I haven't seen a single one of them catch anything yet. I really stylized this these concrete amphitheater blocks going around, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. In fact, the farther things go back in the distance, they start to blend together, and so the highlights that I would normally do with a very thin line marker here are going to become a little bit thicker, and they actually turned out really cool, partially because of the wave that's happening in the actual shape of the stairs, but also the stylization of the trees and grass up top above it. It makes it actually feel like I'm looking at a really cool little kind of island out there. I did use some white for the sky just to block out the color of the sky, make it feel different from the texture of the water. My shading pen is actually like fully dead now. I got to do a little bit, so I used a new one which created a lot darker, a lot juicier shading in here than I actually wanted. The shading pen, I always want to have it kind of dry. As I make a brush stroke, it feels like scumbling is the word. Scumbling. Today's word is scumbling. Aside from the sky, I didn't use any white. In fact, I used silver because I just thought the purple and silver would be a great combo together. That was part of why I left the white, because the sky is very light back there, but I left the white, only the sky. Having the silver pop off of the white creates a real reflective surface that brings it forward in space. There have been several boats that come through here, but I'm not going to include any in today's work. I want this to feel as if I'm the only person out here, which it has felt like that. You know, everybody is pretty much kept to themselves. Nobody, aside from a couple quick hellos, nobody is really like talking or having conversations and whatnot. Everybody that's out here is out here to do their morning thing and have their peace and just be by themselves. They're not trying to really socialize. Foreground here, a lot of rocks, and you know they're pretty messy and unorganized in the first place, so they don't have to be perfect. In fact, I'm just going to be blocking these in. They need to feel rough because they are rough edge, you know, they're free form. I'm taking the liberty to stylize a lot of it. I want it to feel like the rocks are in the foreground, the pier on the right side of the canvas is in the foreground, and the left side, that whole pier side and island peninsula out there, that's going to become kind of the middle ground. And so you can still see a lot of details in it, but at the same time it doesn't have to be, you don't have to see every single texture, and the textures that you do see, you can kind of generalize it, and you don't have to, like the trees, obviously the grass, but then the background really would just be the sky and what I would call the endless lake. All this open space, you could make it feel, you could stylize that water a whole bunch of different ways. And if I didn't add all these reflections and ripples on the surface, the ducks, the shading, and you weren't looking at this, it almost could feel like a field or like or like a big parking lot. You know, you could make that surface texture read however you want. It could have been kind of cool to restylize it and make it look like a parking lot. Image making tomfoolery. It's a pretty peaceful image. It's a pretty peaceful set of images. After working in some good light areas, some good dark areas, you know, keep in mind that color balance. Keep in mind having some good purple show through. You know, that is basically the only real color in this image. I'm trying really hard not to overwork this, because that actually happened in one of my most recent drawings. I overworked it to the point where I started to actually hate the drawing. And so I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to stop right here. I greatly appreciate you watching, as always. I'm going to have another drawing coming next Thursday, maybe even some surprise videos in the meantime. Like and subscribe, Juice Loops Live, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.